Hello, Dr. Laird's Wilderness Management class. This is John Griffith, and I'm trying to show you where I'm at. Okay, that's why I'm staring at the screen here. I'm in the Redwoods. You guys are in Texas. You don't know about the Redwoods, huh? Well, you probably know about the Redwoods, but I'm in Prairie Creek Redwood State Park, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. I got your questions. I understand that you guys watched my How to Doo-Doo in the Woods video, and somebody even asked me what my favorite position to doo-doo in the woods is, so we're going to get to that and other important things. So, but first, I'm going to let you see this. Look at this. Look at this. This is Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. I love the Redwoods. And someone asked me what my favorite national park was. My favorite national park is Redwood National Park. And I work in Redwood National Park all the time with my crew, with my California Conservation Corps crew, and we do trails in Redwood National Parks. We do salmon habitat restoration. We do tree planting. We do invasive weed eradication, AKA elk habitat restoration. So anyways, I'm going to answer some of your questions, and let me just walk around a little bit and find a better place to set up my tripod and stuff. So, let's see. I got a printout of some of the questions you guys asked me right here. So, do I like my job? Yes, I love my job. I work for the California Conservation Corps. It's a state youth workforce development program. So 18 to 25-year-olds come from all over California, and they can be at one of several residential centers or at a non-residential center. So right now, I'm working at a non-residential center. For 13 years, I worked at residential centers and supervised crews out of there. So what the CCC tries to do is they try to put you in a residential center far away from where you grew up, so you see a different part of California. California is a big state, not as big as Texas in size, but it's long and it's trippy and diverse. All right, next question. How do I deal with complaining? Because we're out there in the rain, we're out there in super heat, like 120 degrees sometimes, 115, like crazy hot. And we're in floods and we're doing fires and there's smoke and we're hiking up, really steep mountainsides in severe heat or severe rain, snow sometimes. So a lot of people who just came off their mom's couch and away from the video games have a hard time adapting to that, of course. Sometimes I just point out the ripple effect. When you put out these complaints, you're affecting everybody else in the crew, you bring down morale. And morale, when you're dealing with crew and when you're dealing with leadership, morale is so important. Some personality types I don't think appreciate that as much as they should. If you have high morale, you have less accidents. You have high morale, you're more productive. You have high morale, people are contributing their ideas. And so I always tell my Corps members that on my crew, there's 15 to 18 of us. That means there's 15 to 18 brains generating ideas. And if we have a high morale, then we can think of more ideas. So I try to tell people that their complaining is like a ripple effect, and they might complain to this person, that person, it might change the course of that person's day and change the course of our whole experience, our collective experience. One of the things I break it down for them and just be totally real and say that they don't have to be here. You're choosing to be here. So once they realize that they can walk away and leave anytime they want, then there's no point in resisting. Either do or don't do, there is no try. I think that's Yoda that said that, actually. As I create a culture where we can acknowledge that the conditions are rough and embrace them and know that's part of the trip, that's part of the meditation, if you will, is that we joined the CCC knowing that it was hard work, low pay, miserable conditions. So, Miss Mentor, you may recognize your son right here, Wade Wilson. And he is very, very deep in the mountains with crazy people. And he just told me that you would never believe him if he told you that he was sitting at the top of like 4,500, 6,000, between 4 and 6,000.
This is really real. This is real. Like Queen of the Hills. So
yesterday we were hiking up a trail and it was like, 90 some degrees, and today it's raining. And how do you feel, Wade? I heard that you... Wade, how do you feel?
Yesterday and today, man. First it was sunny, I was burning to death.
Still got 6 days too.
Now I'm flooded to death.
But the hike's real easy though, right?
Never. Whoever said that was a lie. Don't believe the lies. This is the hardest thing I ever did in my life, literally.
Don't get harder, brother.
But doesn't it feel good?
Yeah, it feels good. I really feel good.
And you feel real fresh and clean right now, right?
No. I feel like a mess. Somebody spanked me. like a mess stuff. I'm eating like a pig.
No comment.
You need your calories, because this is some hard, and here's the smokers doing their little nasty thing.
Highways, Mom.
And
I don't smoke cigarettes neither.
Highways, Mom.
So
Yeah,
Miss Mentor,
your son is still a square.
we're taking good care.
Square.
We're taking care of your son. He's it's not as bad as he's saying. He's having a great time, and
Hey, wait, you can email him.
he's totally safe. All right, say bye.
Help! No.
All right, next question. How do you manage volunteers, or I think you meant core members? How do you manage core members? Core members aren't volunteers, by the way. They get paid, and they get to live with us. We take out, very minimal portion for food and room and board, and they can get $8,000 in scholarships per year. So they're making more than minimum wage. So when you add in the scholarships and everything, they're making like $14 an hour or whatever. So 13, $14 an hour. Anyways, how do you manage volunteers who have different views from you? Happens all the time, okay? Happens all the time, because we have a diversity of people who work for the CCC, who get on the cruise. Some people are really conservative, some people are really liberal, some people are very urban, some people are very rural, some people are this religion, some people are that religion. There's a lot of different perspectives, and so one of the things I have to do is just appreciate the diversity and understand that not everybody's going to think like me. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody did? Another thing that's really helped me is a book called Please Understand Me 2. And it's about the Myers-Briggs test and personality test. So it breaks down the personalities. There's like 4 main categories, and it breaks down into 16 subcategories. And it's pretty darn accurate, because I'll have a core member of my crew for a few weeks and I'll say, hey, let's take the Myers-Briggs test so you can find out that you're an INTJ. And they take it and they're like, I am an INTJ. How did you know? And I say, because I'm familiar with that personality type. And understanding the different personality types are motivated by different things, are made comfortable by different things. Just understanding the personality type diversity can really help you in how to deal with people that work for you.
Don't want me to take
So here we are. Where are we at again?
Where we at, Leonard?
In the woods.
Where we at?
Tell me where we at, Michael. We're in the woods.
Somewhere.
We're in the woods.
We're in the woods washing
Those
dishes.
being the woods. And we're washing dishes with...
That's how they did in ancient times. Except they didn't have plastic. They was doing it with stone.
So this is Leonard Patton from
L.A.
LA. And Michael Miranda from Greenfield. And Andrew Massey from Rio Dale. And Antoine's also from Rio Dale.
Oh, you're a rapper.
Where are you from?
Yeah, right.
Where are you from, Antoine?
I'm
From Oakland.
Oakland's in the house.
Okay.
So we're here, but now we're in the Oak Woodlands conifer area. Hello! So here I am in the middle of a skunk, cabbage, alder, riparian corridor. So what you're hearing in the background is my crew doing elk habitat restoration. So we're in California State Parks, Humboldt Lagoon State Parks, and we are eradicating radish and poison hemlock because the elk aren't eating those. Okay, so another question is, favorite leadership tool or your greatest leadership tool? There's a book called Primal Leadership. It's about emotionally intelligent leadership, and I think that's very important. I think that compassionate leaders, so being compassionate with people you lead, and it depends on who you're leading, where you're leading, what you're leading on. So I work for a youth program, and so I'm leading them on projects, but I'm also a mentor. I'm also around them 24 hours a day, because we go on these spikes where we're camping and we're together 8 days in a row, 24 hours. And then we have 6 days off, and then we're doing that again. So there's a few little leadership tactic things that I think are good to remember without getting into a big, huge leadership lecture. And one of them is praise publicly and criticize privately. Okay, especially if you're a peer leader. Praise publicly, criticize privately. Use the sandwich method. If you're always being critical of someone, pretty soon it sounds like you're being condescending. So you want to use the sandwich method. So good, we'll just call it good, bad, good. So like a sincere compliment, compliments always have to be sincere. If you give fake compliments, then you're fake. And your leadership's fake. you can always find something sincerely good about someone that you're leading that you can give them a sincere compliment. So sincere compliment, and then what they need to work on, and then sincere compliment. So for example, hey, yesterday you were working really good and consistently. Today it seems like you're not working consistently. Is there something I can help you with? Because we really need to pick this up. You need to be doing what you did yesterday, because that's the kind of behavior that gets you promotions and so on. So that was just a really quick example of a sandwich method. So try to use sandwich method. Praise publicly, criticize privately. Hello! I had to move the show inside because I responded to you guys' questions outside while I was working, and all you could hear was wind and chainsaws and weed eaters, and it just didn't work. So I'm redoing it indoors so I can make sure that we have a controlled audio environment. And I don't know all those fancy editing skills, so I can't take out background noise. My comments are all, just reduce the background noise. I don't know how to do that. I barely know how to upload videos to YouTube. So anyways, we're indoors now. And it's kind of appropriate because one of the questions was what do I think about California's drought? You know, I'm gonna spend a very short amount of time on that because I'm not qualified, for one, to talk about it. It's a super political. It's political, a drought. Why should a drought be political? It's super political. So what they've done now is, you know, there's an emergency declared or whatever, and so all the restaurants, mom and pop diners, have stopped serving water to customers unless they ask for it. So this is gonna really help here. I know it's symbolic, but you know, we're fracking. We have tons of cattle, and we have water-hungry crops like cotton, and so glasses of water aren't gonna help that much. So we need to, you know, unfortunately, no one wants to be told what to do with their property, and I totally understand. But there's some places, like Georgia, might be a better place to graze cattle, where there's more rain or whatever. You know, there's parts of the United States that are good for certain things, and we want to grow everything in California. We support. We're a huge portion of the agriculture in the United States, and so no one wants to be told they can't use water. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's raining today, and that's really awesome. With that said, one of the questions was, is it better to be loved or feared? That's actually a great question, and my answer is neither. I don't think everybody loving you is a realistic goal, and I think if you make that your realistic goal, you're going to be weird and scattered. I tell core members that it's not their job description to like me. It'd be nice if we all liked each other, but not everybody's gonna like you all the time. Not everybody's gonna like everything you do all the time, but you still gotta do it. You're the informed one, so you know, as a leader, you should be the informed one, but you should also be open in case someone has some better ideas. You always should go for the best idea, not your idea, the best idea. You should be the informed one on matters of safety and stuff, so sometimes you gotta tell people no, and they're not gonna like hearing that. And they're gonna be mad at you for it. Okay? Safety first. So, in those kinds of situations, and just being feared, that's ridiculous. You know, if everybody's you're leading is afraid of you, then your leadership's not going to last long. You're going to topple, and it's going to be ugly. I believe in compassionate leadership. One of the easiest ways to become a compassionate leader is just to change your I to we. Okay? And don't say you as much either. So you're not saying you guys did good today. You're saying we did good today. You're not saying you guys did sucky today. You're saying we sucked today. So that's one. And then also, and not saying, you know, well, with my leadership, we have accomplished great things, and I am really proud of you. No, you say we have done good together. So changing your I to we is part of like the first step in compassionate leadership. The second thing is listening and dealing with things as they happen. Don't let a problem go festering, especially when you're out in the wilderness. Don't let problems go. Deal with things as they happen. I know sometimes it's just not possible, but as soon as it becomes possible, deal with things as they happen. Someone's starting to complain. Address that, okay? As a leader, see, when I take my core members on spikes, I figure, on spikes when we go out for 8 days, when we go out in the woods, you know, I figure that I don't have any free time. I'm going to be dealing with, you know, people's issues, people's fears, and I should also be working to keep up morale. So making sure that people are like, you know, we're cooking and cleaning together, that we're doing that without confrontations, that after they get done with their chores, that there's something to do. So keeping up morale also means like around the campfire, making sure that the conversation's appropriate, no one's getting bullied. So there's a lot of things that you as a leader have to do when you're in the wilderness with your work group or your travel group, and that's keeping morale high. Higher the morale, better things are gonna go. So we're just up here at Mad River District, doing our little thing, washing dishes, finishing food, playing in the tent, and down there being a hideous smoking creature. Let's go talk to hideous smoking creatures. All right. So, tell me, why are you despoiling the woods with your tar bar sucking down?
Why don't you tell us why
you're spitting that.
We're not talking about me, we're talking about you. This is a conversation about chaw.
Well, then let's talk about chew.
Oh, she is good. She's good.
We both taking the form of whack to the back, and we smoking and you chew it.
Yeah. So how does spitting all that tobacco?
We didn't need to talk about. This is not the video is about. The video is not about me. That's why the video is facing you and not me.
You're giving bugs and animals.
So anyway, isn't this a lovely creek? This is East Creek. This is Creek. You need to be quiet right there.
Come on, you recording.
Joey Montenegro. I know your sister. I'll call her right now.
This is why he's recording.
And there's Andrew Massey. Andrew Massey, where you from? Rio Dale. Oh, you didn't say it like you did last time. All right, so we'll let these tar bars suck it down. Let's get down to their business. Go over here with the air. Ooh, the air is so much fresher over here. All right. So yeah, here we are. Very beautiful place. We're working on trails. This Mad River District, Six Rivers National Forest, and we're having a really good time. Compassion and empathy. I often call people who are doing really good things in their community and the environment, I call them solutionaries. Solutionaries are basically people who are empathetic and do compassionate action. So compassionate action is super important as a leader. The best definition of compassion is by, I think his name is Jinpa, or I can't pronounce it, but it's Dalai Lama's English translator. So it's translator to English. And he has got one of the best definitions of compassion that I've ever heard. And so I'll just read it to you. Compassion is a mental state endowed with a sense of concern for the suffering of others and aspiration to see that suffering relieved. And so when you're a leader, especially in a wilderness setting, you don't want people's suffering to go on too long. A lot of times we see taking people out into the wilderness as kind of like you got to go out there and conquer something and have this conversion. Room Out from Outdoor Afro talks about that a lot. Like we see like going out and suffering as part of the adventure. But not everybody is from backgrounds where suffering seems like an adventure. Suffering might seem really like routine and everyday for them because they come from a different economic class or they're from a different place. And so you need to be aware of that when you take people out into the wilderness, that, their suffering might not be a good thing. You might actually be helping them not want to be in the outdoors anymore by ignoring their suffering. So you need to deal with things as they happen and try to make people as comfortable as possible. Sometimes just showing someone you're leading compassion will give them the courage that they need and the inspiration that they need to see the positive aspects of the wilderness experience. So, compassionate leadership, change your eyes to we's, and watch yourself to make sure that you're not looking at the successes of your group as your personal successes. So, and that's challenging because we're humans, we're egotistical creatures. I know, trust me, I had a viral video 2 years ago, and since then I've been getting a lot of attention. And I'm just a crew supervisor with my California Conservation Corps crew. And I was a Corps member, and I went through a transformative experience in the CCC. I got off drugs in the CCC. I was a homeless, ran away from home kid. And I got my GED in the CCC and got inspired about going to college in the CCC. And it was transformative for me, and I want it to be that way for my Corps members. And so when I'm thinking about myself too much, I'm not helping to create the backdrop to them having the same self-actualizing experience. I'm not being supportive of that. I'm not being compassionate of that. I'm thinking about myself. So you really want to make sure that you're thinking about the collective good, the collective goal, and your people. Because the goal is a we goal. It's not a me goal. So you want to keep your goals we goals, not me goals. And that way, all those transformative experiences and the appreciation for wilderness and the trust and everything that's important in outdoor settings will happen. So just to recap, change your I leadership to we leadership, okay? Praise publicly, criticize privately. Deal with things as they happen. Don't let things fester. Be a good listener. Sometimes people just need to air their grievances. Understand that everybody goes to wilderness for different reasons. People do outdoor recreation for different reasons, and their suffering in the wilderness or overcoming something or like having some obstacle or having things be difficult might not help them connect to the wilderness. If you're from a privileged background, then that stuff suffering might seem cool to you, like a vacation and an adventure. But some people, that might be their regular. And so when you get them into the wilderness, you want to make sure they're comfortable. Okay, so it's very important as a leader to make sure that everybody's comfortable. So if you want to know more about compassionate leadership, you can get the book Primal Leadership. But one of the things about compassionate leadership is that the voice in your head is compassionate. So a lot of people think, if you're just compassionate to everybody else and then hard on yourself, your compassion isn't genuine. So Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff, really good books, backed by neuroscience studies. So it's not just a hippie la thing. But the voice in your head needs to be compassionate if you're going to be a compassionate leader. And then I had mentioned earlier, Please Understand Me Too. Okay, it's by David Kiersey. Can you guys see it? That will help you understand the people you're leading, because a lot of times it's not that you dislike somebody you're leading, because one of the questions was, do you ever have anybody on your crew you don't like? It's not usually that I dislike them, it's usually that I misunderstand them. So it's misunderstandings, and this book, Please Understand Me, tells you about the personality types and helps you understand people's motivations and what makes them feel comfortable. It's been a really helpful tool for me as a leader, is just understanding the personality types and being a compassionate leader and trying to keep it off me and on the we. So if you have any more questions, you can always shoot me an email via my YouTube channel. And I have a lot of the YouTube videos that have to do with the CCC and being outdoors and stuff like that. I'm gonna keep making videos. If you have a suggestion for a video, let me know. But anyways, thanks for being interested in what you guys are interested in, wilderness management. We definitely need more people to be stepping up and taking care of our wilderness areas and nature. So appreciate what you're doing, and that's it.